Counter-extremism and terrorism professionals have warned of a dramatic increase in the number of instances brought to them by schools worried about the effects of Andrew Tate, a self-proclaimed misogynistic influencer. Incidents include the verbal abuse of female professors or other students, as well as outbursts reflecting Tate's ideas, which are disseminated and promoted mostly on the social media platforms TikTok and Instagram, despite Tate's suspension from these sites. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at Justin. Andrew Tate says that he is not a terrorist. Yeah, you heard it right. Tate was detained in Romania in December on charges of human trafficking, rape, and creating a group to exploit women as part of an organized criminal enterprise. He denies any wrongdoing. According to frontline practitioners executing the government's counter-extremism prevent program, he was a factor in cases dating back to last year. Their warnings follow criticism of William Shawcross's review of Prevent, which determined last week that the sexist incel subculture, whose women-hating members have been attracted to Tate, is not a counterterrorism issue. Tate-style sexism, according to Dr. Tim Squirrel of the Institute of Strategic Dialogue, ISD, a counter-extremism think tank, falls between the gaps of counter-extremism strategy. Tate poses a clear risk of radicalizing young guys towards misogynist radicalism. This type of extremism is currently not considered for support under Prevent unless it is accompanied by a recognized ideology such as incel, extreme right-wing, or Islamist. There is a problem, he remarked. Frontline workers handling cases under the Prevent program in various regions of England who spoke to The Guardian described dealing with cases referred to them in which Tate was cited, as well as attempting to assist teachers in understanding an entirely new lexicon of words they were hearing but did not comprehend. There are instances where a child draws a swastika or expresses a desire to join ISIS. The incorporation of Andrew Tate into it, in minor and larger ways, is pretty novel, stated one person. Another said, since September, he's exploded from nowhere to become a major concern for the schools I work with. Clearly, he does not fit within the Prevent domain, whereas incels do. He parallels them and has a crossover with them. When I'm in school, I find myself effectively describing him as poisonous misogyny on steroids. It may have been the delayed effect of young people talking more about him after he lost access to some of his social media platforms, but we started to see a rise before Christmas in schools telling us about pupils and really challenging itself, such as pupils saying to female teachers, "What do you mean, you're a woman? You can't teach me anything. You belong in the kitchen." Tate, who claims to have converted to Islam, has close ties to far-right individuals, including Tommy Robinson, a fellow Luton native. Tate, who has associations with far-right leaders such as British conspiracy theorist Paul Joseph Watson and American alt-right activist Jack Pezovic, referred to Robinson, whose true name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, as a good man. Tate's conversation may have been a gimmick, but what it has done is contribute to the confused and muddled ideology that is now affecting a higher proportion of students in schools. In addition to, for instance, white children who were previously drawn to him, you now have young English Muslims, stated one of the Prevent employees. Another, citing instances of pro-Islamic State sites spreading Tate's material, added, "We are now in a position where we must recognize that he has connections to extremist areas, but when a school approaches us, for instance, he is not necessarily our responsibility." Prevent does not always follow up on referrals. Some are referred back to Safer Schools partnerships, while others are referred to safeguarding owing to concerns about a student's well-being or resulting in families receiving support. The fears about Tate's influence come after the Home Secretary endorsed the Shawcross review and pledged to revamp the Prevent policy. Separate Prevent figures published last month categorize incel as a distinct category, reflecting a greater awareness of misogynistic ideology as a priority. Incel accounted for 1% of all referrals to the anti-extremism system in the year to March 2022, or 77 instances according to top counterterrorism officials. Nonetheless, Shawcross agreed with the UK's Deputy Senior National Coordinator for Counterterrorism Policy that it was not a terrorist ideology. Incel violence against women would be considered a sort of hate crime, he wrote in his review, adding, such individuals may also be driven to suicide and self-harm owing to psychological pain rather than aggression against others. However, Squirrel argued that Shawcross was mistaken regarding incels because the ideology has shown to be a motivator of mass violence in several instances throughout the world, including the massacres in Isla Vista, California in 2014, in Toronto in 2018 and 2020, and in Tallahassee Florida in 2018. In the UK, he cited at least one terrorism act conviction, Gabrielle Friel's conviction in Edinburgh, in which the offender was influenced by incel ideology, as well as one act of mass murder, Jake Davidson's act in Plymouth in 2021, in which the perpetrator was influenced by incel ideology. Incel ideology is not the only misogynist ideology, nor even one that causes the greatest damage in absolute terms, but it is and should be regarded as a terrorist threat, added Squirrel. It also cannot be prosecuted as a hate crime since sexism is not included in hate crime legislation. Shawcross should be aware of this. A government official stated that the Internet Safety Bill will oblige technology companies to safeguard children from exposure to hazardous content online and implement age restrictions. In addition, the teaching of online safety is being evaluated. To help schools protect children, we have made teaching on relationships, sex, and health a required component of the curriculum, and we're improving our guidelines for schools on how to be aware of issues such as misogyny and gender stereotypes, they stated. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.